Is The Batman the best Batman movie of all time? It's very close. It's really close, but the movie does have its flaws. So I'm going to talk about what I loved about the movie and what I think it could have done a little bit better on in terms of how it handled certain characters and certain plot points that kind of got forgotten. So stay with me. Let's see how much you agree with. First, a knockout standout is the world building that was put into this Gotham. Right from the get-go, the movie introduces us to a very dark, very gritty, very dangerous version of Gotham, what Gotham should be this entire time. Right from the first minute of the movie, you start to join the gang members in wondering if in that dark street or that dark corner has Batman hiding in it. The dark, gritty world that is set up creates the tone for the movie almost in itself, and that is impressive alone. Keeping with the beginning of the film, Batman's narration was an interesting addition, but I think it really fell short of its potential because the movie forgets about the whole narrating thing in its very long act 2. The narration at the beginning is great with showing the effect that Batman has on the city, and it felt really forced by the end of the movie when it comes back. What I'm saying is that since Batman's narration wasn't a prominent plot point throughout the movie, it's the impact that the filmmaker was going for when it comes back at the end feels lackluster because the narration has lost all of its relevance. So the last little bit of the narration to complete his character arc really didn't have the impact that it could have. But Batman himself in this movie might be the best Batman of all time. No other Batman can command a room like he can. You can see his mind working. You can see he is reading every part of the Riddler's first crime scene and the people in it, and that's what Batman should be. He also captures the rage-driven focus, like when he was pummeling down on the last Riddler goon, or when Catwoman takes out her contact lens and Batman just loses it on her, tells her no, because when Batman feels a situation is out of his control, he gives into his rage to get what he wants. This captured that perfectly and effortlessly and gave us a well-rounded Batman. Now on the flip side, I'm not a fan of what they do with Bruce Wayne in this movie. See, Bruce Wayne needs to be the alias of Batman. The Bruce Wayne persona cannot and should not mirror Batman's personality, and no universe is Batman and Bruce Wayne the same character, especially when Bruce is interacting with other people in this movie as Bruce Wayne. He still keeps Batman's intensity for some reason. In this movie, there should have been a clear differentiation between Bruce and Batman. Bruce should be a playboy type, charismatic, enthusiastic, outgoing, just the any opposite of serious and mature, but this movie, Batman and Bruce Wayne are the same person, which should not be the case. They even address it in one of my favorite parts of the movie when Batman is talking to Riddler, and Riddler tells Batman that he knows that the mask is Batman's true identity. Batman is who he really is. Then if he is really Batman, then differentiate him from Bruce a little bit more. Now, Riddler himself was a fantastic villain for the first 2 acts of the movie, but when thrown into prison and we discover the side of himself where he gets to be the wacky Riddler that we all know, he kind of loses all credibility as an intimidating and dark villain that the movie was going for thus far, but you can see still how intelligent he is, and I really like the chemistry between him and Batman. That truly was a dynamic that I enjoyed. Hey, you made this far, you might as well subscribe to Brain Rotters if you're new, as well as hitting that bell for notifications so you don't miss another video just like this one. Another dynamic that was flawless in every way was the best on-screen adaptation of Batman and Jim Gordon's relationship. Gordon, throughout the whole movie, no matter what Batman did, he backed Batman up when no one else would. Even when Batman assaults a police officer, Gordon knew that Batman still belonged out there in Gotham where the work can be done for the greater good. Batman still belongs out on the streets. Gordon and Batman always teaming up and investigating together is a standout as well that we haven't seen in live action before as much as we did in this film, so I really love that. Now, with characters like Gordon getting more screen time, it did outshine or overshadow the amount of screen time that characters like Alfred should have gotten. See, we got a little bit of Alfred in the movie, but he really only has, I want to say, like 3 to 5 short scenes maximum. I do believe that those scenes did make good time to develop the relationship that Bruce has with Alfred and even push the story forward with Alfred solving those riddles. And they did explore their father-son relationship, but I think Alfred's screen time could have contributed to a bigger scare or shock when Alfred gets blown up. The movie just had a tendency to forget about characters like Alfred in favor of spending more time with characters like Falcone in particular. Otherwise, the best parts of the movie that I really enjoyed, the beautifully well shot cinematography. Penguin was dynamic on screen. This movie has the best adaptation of Catwoman and her romance with Batman. The car chase was amazing. The stakes felt very high the whole time. The acting is some of the best acting in any Batman movie, and for me, Riddler's entrance in the film with the mayor's killing was creatively well directed and executed, with building that suspense and that terror. It was amazing. I think overall it can sometimes come down to rewatch value as well. I ask yourself, what is more rewatchable, this Batman movie or The Dark Knight? I think The Dark Knight is way more rewatchable, but that doesn't disregard the fact that this Batman movie makes its mark on history as one of the best and unique Batman stories ever told. It is probably single-handedly the best unique on-screen adaptation of Batman ever. Enough said. Thank you all so much for watching. What did you think of the Batman? Let me know your review in the comments section below. Do you agree with me? Which parts do you agree with? Which parts do you disagree with? Let's have a debate in the comments section. Thank you all so much for watching, and God bless.